So today we're going to talk about how to start cycle syncing and to use it to enhance our productivity. Ultimately, we all want to get more out of life, out of the time that we have. So I'm here to tell you how we can use our biology, how we can start to tune into our bodies to do that very thing. 2 easy steps. Let's go. Hi, my name is Jules and welcome to my channel. On here I love to talk about all things productivity, especially about the female version of productivity. I feel like there's a lot out there for men and how to get the most out of their days, which doesn't take into account what's going on in our bodies, our beautiful hormones and our biology. So this channel is all about women's productivity and basically everything that I have learned as a productivity coach, an entrepreneur, a wife, a mom, and a woman in all these years. So I am super passionate about helping find ways to live better, healthier, and more fulfilled lives. And all I talk about is the things that I have personally tried and tested for myself. So I'm here to share those with you. So today I'll be sharing the 2 easy ways to start living according to your cycle for maximum productivity and ultimately happiness. Basically, how to start living in tune with your body, with your beautiful biology, and tapping into the gifts that you are given throughout the month. So let's start at the beginning. What is cycle syncing? So this is a term coined by Alisa Vitti in her book In the Flow. Super cool, super deep dive into all the various hormones at play and all the different cycles and how you can maximize that. So that's where this term comes from. But I personally like the term cycle living because I feel like it's kind of more holistic, because it's difficult to sync your whole life. It's easy to live in that certain way. And really, this is not about adding more rules to your already busy life. It's about harnessing what your biology is already doing for more productivity and ultimately more freedom. So whatever you choose to call it, it's how we tune into our beautiful bodies and work with the gifts that we already have going on in these phases. So here we go. You're gonna want to track your cycle. You need to know where you're at to understand what the gifts are of that particular phase. So tracking your cycle is such an amazing way just to tune in and start to see and feel and listen to your body throughout the month. I have been doing this religiously for about a year now, since I first heard about cycle syncing. Thank you, Aggie, Biohacking bestie. She put me onto this, and I can really feel the changes. Even now, if I don't check in my app, I already can feel what's going on in those various stages. So first of all, you're gonna want to get a period tracker on your phone. So you'll pop in the dates of your last period, and from there you can input all the info it needs. But even if you don't add anything else, like your body temperature or your cervical fluid or anything else, the tracker will actually give you a bunch of info that you need to know at the different stages. So I like to use 2 different apps. I like to use Natural Cycles, which I've been using actually for the past 4 months or so, and it's super sciencey. You input all your data. You have to be pretty religious about it, but then the algorithm learns where you're at, and it tells you safe days and unsafe days, or if you're wanting to conceive, where you want to sort of be doing your thing in those times. So that is a really great app, Natural Cycles. And the other one that I also use, and I've used a lot because I've been trying to figure out which ones are the best for me, and the other one that I really love is an app called Stardust. This one is so much fun. It is hilarious and it sends you the coolest notifications throughout the day, and I highly recommend. It's a really easy entrance. You don't have to input any data. You just tell it your last period and it will send you all the information you need to know. What I also love about Stardust, and maybe some of the other apps have it, is that there's partner mode. So you can nudge your partner, whoever that may be in your life, and they can get notifications to find out what's going on with you at that particular point in your cycle. So step 1, simply get a period tracker. You can use Natural Cycles or Stardust or one of the many others out there, and you start tracking your cycle to know exactly where you are. once you know where you're at with your cycle, you want to sit with your diary or your planner and plan out the next cycle, essentially the next month. I like to just use my old-fashioned diary planner, and I like to highlight the different phases in different colors so I can know exactly, just as an overview, where each phase is gonna fall in my calendar. Now, it's not possible to plan everything to make sure you're only doing the right things in the right phase. That's just ludicrous. But it can help you just to figure out, okay, in this phase, these are the gifts. This is what's working best for me, and how do I plan it in so I can play to my strengths in every season. I also want to caveat that I'm not going to go into the deep science of all the different hormones at play and how they rise and how they fall. It is actually pretty straightforward, but I feel like it's not really relevant to what I'm trying to get across. I'm just going to simply summarize what you need to know about each phase in order to honor what your hormones are doing for you at that time. So here we go. So women typically have a 25 to 36 day menstrual cycle, and the length of your cycle may vary according to you and your body. But typically it starts off with menstruation, which is when you have your period, which is probably about 3 to 7 days. Then we go into follicular, which is about 7 to 11 days. Then we hit ovulation, which is sort of the peak of all the hormones, around 3 to 4 days long. And then we have our luteal phase, which can be the longest phase, 10 to 14 days, and that is the time just before your period. So I don't have a 28-day cycle. Mine is about 31 days, and I have a longer follicular than others. So there's always going to be a different variation. You know, we're all unique, we're all special. So don't stress about the length necessarily at this stage. It's just about tuning in, and you'll know. When you get into this, you'll start to know exactly what phase you're in. You'll feel it. It's like education is power. You'll know once you know what to look out for. So that is understanding just the 4 different phases. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk about each phase, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you should be doing in terms of what your hormones are doing and how you can use those to enhance your productivity. We're going to start in follicular phase, which is the few days just after your period. And all of these phases, which I really love, are linked to different seasons, or categorized according to different seasons. So the follicular stage is known as your inner spring. And here is the few days after your period has ended, and you will start to feel the joys of spring. You will start to feel vibrant, you start to feel renewed, almost like you're coming out of hibernation. And at this time, your hormones are max powered for curiosity and problem solving. Isn't that amazing? So now is the perfect time to do brainstorming work, trying new things, and playing with all the new ideas coming to you. So make sure that you have a notebook handy or just a note on your phone, and keep track of all the new ideas and plans that you're getting at this time. After follicular comes our ovulation season, our inner summer. And in this phase, in those 3 to 5 days, you're going to be feeling confident, motivated, energetic. You are designed to go out there and shine. Your hormones are 100% supporting you at this time. This is the beauty of what I've been talking about. What are we getting out of these different phases? So summer is really the time for you to go out and to flirt with life. So interestingly enough, studies have shown that your face is more symmetrical, which is amazing. You look more beautiful, you feel more confident. I suppose it's nature's way of making you attractive so that you can essentially find a mate. So that's what ovulation is about. And this is the time that you want to plan those social commitments, because you're going to feel like it. You're going to feel beautiful, you're going to feel attractive, you're going to feel very social, very outgoing. So it's a really good time to plan in those social commitments that you have. It's also a really good time, and believe it or not, it's actually a really good time to make videos and to take headshots, because your face is good, you're feeling more fluent, you can speak better, and you have that confidence about you. It's also a time work-wise to plan those meetings meetings, those presentations. Go for it. Negotiate new deals. Go ask for a raise. Whatever you've been wanting to do but maybe haven't had the confidence or feeling up to it, the summertime in your body is the time to do it. You'll see that you'll even feel more able to have those hard conversations, the ones that you've been putting off for some time. So in your summer, in your ovulation stage, just plan to say yes to life. Your mood and your hormones are all supporting you. So I personally like to plan seeing friends, going on a date with my husband, taking my little guy on play dates, doing in-person coaching, and creating content at this time. So I'm almost in ovulation, so I'm harnessing this time to actually record this video while I'm feeling up to it. In 2 weeks' time, during my ltil phase, this is the last thing I'm going to feel like. So harness those things that you've been really wanting to do, those sort of outward things that you want to do in the time of ovulation. After summer must come autumn. And the luteal phase comes after ovulation, and although you might still be feeling some of like the benefits of summer for a few days after, it's not like the sudden change that you like suddenly like, oh, I'm now in autumn. It's a gradual like season passing, so you'll feel those changes slowly as you come out of ovulation into luteal, into your inner autumn. So in the luteal phase, you need to plan to feel less energetic and to be less out there, because you're going to be slower, you're going to be less motivated than you were in spring and in summer. So this is a great time to actually practice slowing down a little and even saying no and setting boundaries, which I know as a woman is quite difficult to do. So this is the time, because your hormones are not going to feel like being out there, they're not going to be just rearing to go. So we're starting to come inwards as you would in winter, right? Summer you're going to be out there, you're going to be doing all sorts of things, but as the seasons start to change, you start to prepare towards your winter. So work-wise, it's a time to focus on those detail-oriented tasks. Your brain is now looking for things, it can be able to see the details, so revising what you've done and fine-tuning your products, your projects, not necessarily starting new ones. This is probably, that would be better in follicular and in summer. It's also a really great time for life admin, shopping, meal planning, paying bills, clearing out your inbox, all of that good stuff. I usually plan to finish up projects that I've been working on for the previous seasons in this time, organizing my house, doing online shopping, editing videos, and finishing those things that have been sort of lingering on my to-do list. This is the time to do that in your inner autumn, your luteal phase. After your luteal phase comes your inner winter. This is your period season, and this is essentially what winter is all about. You're coming inside, you're knuckling down, you're getting cozy, and it's actually the perfect time for you to reflect and to actually tune into your intuition. So write in your journal, reflect about the previous month and the intentions that you set in follicular and the plans that you set in follicular and how you carry those out. And it's also a really good way, you're releasing, you're bleeding, you're letting things go. So just releasing the old and making space for the new. So I like to take this time to do things that nurture me. So you want to prioritize self-care, so plan that in, even if it's just blocking out 10 minutes a day, whether it's just having a long bath, curling up with a glass of wine, going for a mani, or having a massage, whatever you want to do. You just want to just make space in your calendar for those things that you're going to feel like doing at that time. So this is really, really the season that you feel into what you need to do to honor yourself at that time. So you want to avoid scheduling, big social outings because your battery is just not there, or scheduling heavy deadlines at this time. Of course, we know how life goes. You can't always plan things accordingly. But again, it's just that awareness, if you're planning a dinner party, move it to another phase if you possibly can. Or if you've got that big presentation, see if you can potentially pitch to that client during another season, because you're not going to be feeling that outward energy that you would have in those previous phases. Also, it's a really good time to ask for help. If you need help doing things, this is the time. You're not going to have that energy, you're not going to have that self-motivation that you had previously. And obviously, and I didn't quite mention it, but all of these seasons, there's different ways to work out, there's different things you should be eating, so I can do those in upcoming videos if you like. Just let me know in the comment section below. So I like to, in the winter time, just keep my schedule as empty as possible. So I know I said, these are tips on how to enhance your productivity, but actually scheduling space for yourself can also be really productive. I think we need to all adjust our thinking that we are small men, that we just go, go, go. We're actually, as women, we are cyclical beings, and we need to start to honor and live according to that. So I find that if I'm kind to myself in winter, and you'll see the same, if you're kind to yourself in winter, it'll make you so much stronger and so much more productive in the seasons to come. And that's what we want. We want to harness our productivity when our hormones are supporting us, but then also offer ourselves that rest and that self-care during our period, during that winter season. That's it. That's as simple as it can be. Tracking your cycle to know exactly where you're at, and then sitting down with yourself and planning your month, harnessing the gifts and harnessing what your hormones are actually doing for you in those different seasons. I hope you've enjoyed this. I have found that this has been an absolutely huge game changer for me. I wish I had heard this 15 years ago, and I hope it will be useful for you too. I'm going to drop below just a couple of the resources, my favorite books that I've read if you want to take a deeper dive into what this is all about. And also make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll be talking lots more about cycle living in the future, productivity for women, and much, much more. So see you in the next video.